Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Olivia Calfee. 7 people are dead, including 3 children, after a mass shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee. The shooting happened this morning just after 10. Police say the 28-year-old female shooter was on the 2nd floor with 2 assault rifles and a handgun. Officers say she entered the school through a side entrance. The shooter's name was released just moments ago. Audrey Hell was reportedly a former student at the school, but police say that by 10:27 a.m. she was dead.
Well, the victims, as you may have seen in that CBS News special report, ranged in age from 9 to 61. Those victims were Evelyn Dykhouse, Hallie Scruggs, William Kinney, Cynthia Peak, Catherine Kuntz, and Mike Hill. All 3 children that died were 9 years old.
Many lawmakers and community leaders have reacted to the shooting this morning.
President Joe Biden talked about it during his speech at the Small Business Association Women's Business Summit in Washington. Here's what the president had to say.
It's ripping our communities apart, ripping the soul of this nation, ripping at the very soul of the nation. And we have to do more to protect our schools so they aren't turned into prisons.
The president also used the platform to call on Congress to enact stricter gun laws.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden also talked about the shooting today at the League of Cities Congressional City Conference in Washington, D.C., saying, "We just learned about another shooting in Tennessee, a school shooting, and I am truly without words, and our children deserve better. And we stand, all of us, we stand with Nashville in prayer." And we will have much more about this tonight on 6:30 on CBS Evening News.
Weather-wise, it has been a fairly quiet day region-wide. You see, we've got just a few fair weather clouds outside at the moment. Temperatures have been warm in the mid-60s. You saw that from our view here in Hazard, and here's the view of a few more clouds from the Pikeville Medical Center shot this afternoon. You see some of those clouds kind of moving on through. It has been a little breezy at times. Temperatures remain in the middle and upper 60s, even a few low 70s out there. Harlan and Jonesville at 70 apiece. Jacksboro's at 72. So the mild weather continues, even though we're a little bit cooler than we were this time yesterday. Your forecast first as we head through the evening hours. Not a bad day to maybe fire up the grill. We're in the 60s as we head through the evening hours with a few more clouds working in as we head towards tonight. I'll have the details on when we see a return to some perhaps fog, or frost, I should say, and some showers. That's in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Severe thunderstorm watches are up in large parts of Georgia today after a devastating weekend of extreme weather throughout the southeast.
Tornadoes killed at least 26 people and flattened several communities.
CBS's Mike Helgren has the latest from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Fast rising water and the threat of a dam failure forced evacuations downstream from Heads Creek Reservoir about 45 miles south of Atlanta. Since Sunday, storms have pounded the area and tornadoes touched down in western Georgia, destroying about 30 homes.
The whole house was shaken.
It was the same system that Friday night obliterated communities in western Mississippi. Before and after satellite photos show how much was lost in the town of Rolling Fork.
Believe it or not, this was a bedroom, that also was a bedroom.
Eric Thompson rescued his mother, who rode out the storm in this closet.
She said as soon as she sat down in the closet, it just came and swept through the whole house.
Mississippi is one of the poorest states in the U.S., and this is one of the poorest areas of the state. And that's what makes donation centers like this one so important.
We've had people come all the way from Minnesota and Wisconsin that have just come down, and within 24 hours we're here wanting to say, hey, let me help.
With so much of the town gone, many have nowhere to live or work. But college student Armin Andrews is hopeful.
Do you think there's a future for Rolling Fork?
I do.
He knows rebuilding will take years.
We're not going to let this stop us.
Teams with FEMA say they're working with the governor to find housing solutions and are promising to stay as long as needed. Mike Helgren, CBS News, Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Mississippi has opened more than half a dozen shelters for storm victims. Yesterday, President Biden approved a disaster declaration for the hardest hit counties.
Failed Silicon Valley Bank is in new hands. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation says First Citizens Bank and Trust based in North Carolina, has purchased FVB's deposits and loans. SVB branches reopened this morning under the First Citizens Bank name. SVB was the nation's 16th largest bank when it failed on March 10th.
President Biden's student loan forgiveness program may face a new threat before the U.S. Supreme Court rules on whether it can be carried out. 3 Republican senators are planning to introduce a resolution to overturn the president's debt relief program. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Joni Ernst of Iowa, and John Cornyn of Texas. The president would very likely veto the measure if it succeeds in both chambers of Congress, but votes would force members of his own party who have not all supported the student loan forgiveness program to take a public stance.
Twitter says parts of its source code was posted online and exposed until Friday. That's when Twitter had the material removed from the web. Twitter's source code is the proprietary programming that powers the platform and its internal tools. Excerpts of the code were posted to the online software repository GitHub. The code appears to be the only material posted on that account. It was posted by a user identified only by the handle Free Speech Enthusiast. The social media giant has filed for a court order to hunt down the source of the leak. We will be right back.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized to the categories you choose.